Hi, we're Roy and Karen, and this is our very exciting week in the Villages.
Yes, it was. But before we go forward, we got a couple of people to thank. Thank you, David. Thank you, Bob, again. We're very grateful for the super thanks we get. Thank you, guys. We had a very special visitor this week.
Yes, we did. Our youngest daughter, Bridget, came to the Villages for the first time since we've moved here. We haven't seen her other than FaceTime for 14 months plus. And
14 months, 2 weeks, 2 hours?
Pretty much. And I think I felt every one of them. And it was so good to have her here. It really, that was too long. I know getting moved and getting situated can be a challenge, but that was a long time.
For me, it felt as if when we were apart from her, we were watching her grow up and rise to the challenge. But when she was here in front of me and I could hold her, that was my little girl again.
Yeah. Very proud of her. Awesome to hear where she's at and what's going on and share our lives, where we're at and what's going on here. It was awesome.
When you think about the Villages, the one thing that makes the Villages special, different from everywhere else, is golf cart life. Hashtag golf cart life. And so we need to thank our neighbors, Kitty and Kevin. They realized that we only have a 2-person golf cart. And they knew that our daughter was coming, and that was three's company. Mm-hmm. And so they called us and said, hey, would you like to exchange golf carts for the weekend? Take our 4-seater, we'll take your 2-seater.
So very happy. It made such a difference. And trying to squish everywhere or just give up on it and take the car. We didn't have to. We were zipping all over the place to where we went in our 4-seater from our friends.
We are so grateful that we moved here, that we have the best neighbors, the best friends here. Thank you, Kitty. Thank you, Kevin. So we grabbed Bridget and we took her out in the golf cart, and the first thing we did was we took her over to the Fenny Grill for dinner. Mm-hmm. She came in late, so we had a late dinner.
Got to meet another one of our neighbors, Deb, while we were there. It's just a small world here.
It is. But we had planned. We said, okay, we're going to take Bridget to the pitch and putt. Mm-hmm. We didn't know much about it. We just, when we made the reservation, we put in guest into the phone system. But then we heard that morning, oh, do you have a guest pass for her? Oops. So we're running out to get her a guest pass. We went to the Fenny Rec Center, and they don't do it on the weekend. So we had to run over to Everglades
Regional Rec Center, and they were able to help us.
They got it done there.
But they're helping everybody, so it took a little while.
But
we have guests. Or a guest. Say hi.
Hi.
We're at the Everglades.
But we made it on time. I think we made it within 3 minutes of our tea time. And we had fun.
Yeah, having a good time.
We had a blast.
I think everybody was a little rusty.
Okay. What else did we do? We went to Lake Sumter. Mm-hmm. And
we took
walked
our
around.
4-seater golf cart up with 3 people in it and picked up a 4th. My friend who has only been here for 3 months.
And then we went to the Japanese steakhouse, the kind of Benihana kind of place. We had fun.
We are back at Lake Sumter Landing.
What are we doing here?
We're going to the Japanese steakhouse for dinner.
And look who we're with.
Hi, Bridget. You having a good day?
Yeah.
We went golfing, and we were so impressed with the way you golfed. You were better than us.
You guys did shopping, huh? Mm-hmm. How did that go?
We got that.
Oh, you got that thing up there. We like that.
Bridget got some souvenirs to bring home.
Uh-huh.
Everybody got a little something.
But we teased a little bit, I think, with the thumbnail, talking about the millennial perspective. And that's really where I think is the meat and potatoes of this video. I posed a few questions to Bridget and got her responses, and it was really interesting. I said, what was your impression of the villages? And she said that there were more trees than she expected. She said that she loved the Spanish moss and that it was so clean and manicured and well cared for that it made her feel calm. She felt the people were so much nicer than back in Texas, and they had much better manners, and that everybody smiled. After her first day here, her stress left her. Another very interesting comment to make. And she also thought that it felt safe here. And this is from a millennial. She felt that people here were comfortable in their own skin. They were comfortable doing what it was that they wanted to do. She was impressed by how everybody was comfortable in their own skin. She said she saw a lot of women who weren't wearing makeup, and that made her feel good inside. She liked being here, which will come up again in our conversation. A lot of what she talked about really meshed with our first impressions of the villages.
And how happy and relaxed people are.
Right.
Helpful. You stop in your golf cart to try to figure out where you are, and people are going to stop and ask you, "Are you okay? Do you need directions?" It's just an amazing place.
But I thought a 26-year-old would be coming from a different place. I thought she would come from a place of, there's just a bunch of old people around here. But that was not in her consciousness. Her consciousness was, everybody is so happy to be here. It's contagious. So then I said, what you thought about us moving to the villages compared to reality.
Because this was her first time here.
Right.
And now she gets to see what we're doing. And
well, we had told her for months that we were going to move here. And we told her about the 3,000 clubs and the music in the squares. And we told her about all these things. And the first thought that she had was, she thought we were exaggerating. She thought that we were only coming here for financial reasons. She knew that we were going to downsize. And she knew that we would end up with no mortgage. And that really was our reason for coming here.
Well, it's part of the reason.
Well, but she thought it was the only reason. And now she realizes this is, and these are her words, a playground for adults. More beautiful than she could have ever imagined. And she likes that there's no kids. So the next question I asked Bridget is, what did you imagine the villages was really going to be when you got here? Because she'd heard about Florida Man so many times, she expected that it would be all swampy and gross and undeveloped and uncivilized. So when you have that kind of thought going through your head, and then you end up in the villages with how gorgeous this place is. I mean, it's like night and day to everything she imagined.
Yeah.
She's of the new generation that doesn't plan on having any kids.
Nope.
Which then takes us to Middleton. What do parents do when they're missing their kids too much? They try to convince them to move here. So we took Bridget to Middleton to go check it out. They happen to have an open house this past weekend. Would you really want Bridget to move to Middleton?
I think she would do very well here. They are professionals. They work from home. They like the outdoor lifestyle. They like golf. I'm not sure how the golf's going to play for that area. They'll have to figure that out. They, I mean, the parks and the walks and the things for the children, the school's phenomenal, but that's not our kids. So,
and they don't really want to live in a neighborhood full of kids. That's not their thing. And that leads me to what she said. The idea was great. She really loved the homes.
I like the color. Oh my god, Bridget. It's even bigger than the other way. It's even bigger than the other way. It's a whole room. It's not a shower, it's a shower room.
Compared to Texas where they are,
how far their dollar will go, not nearly as far as it does here.
like Bridget says, what do you want Taylor to know about your visit here to look at these houses?
They're cheap.
But as a couple with no kids, I'm reading what she said, they love the idea of the villages with all the amenities that the villages offers. So a courtyard villa in the villages with golf for life, with pools that no kids can go to. They would love that. But I think taking them to Middleton was more for us than for them. We would have loved it if Bridget had said, I'm going back home, telling Taylor, we're moving to Florida. But that isn't how it ended.
Not necessarily how it's going to all play out.
How did you feel when Bridget left?
It was a short visit, and it could have been very heartbreaking to have to say goodbye so quickly. But we know we're going to see them in a few weeks, so that made it a lot less painful, knowing that trip back to Texas is just around the corner.
Right. And that's how I felt. I wasn't ready to let go yet, but then I realized that we have that trip coming up, and so I think the takeaway is that it doesn't really matter if you're 65 years old or 25 years old. When you come to the villages, it's pretty much Disneyland for adults. And there's your millennial perspective. When you and I did our preview visit, you recorded me.
Asking for your first impressions.
On the first night, after we'd spent our first day here. You should go check out that video right here. In the meantime,
we appreciate you stopping by.
Say goodbye to Manny. He's right up there. See ya.